What is covenant? I'll give you a dictionary definition of covenant. Covenant, one, is an agreement, usually formal, between two or more persons. It's an agreement which is usually formal between two or more persons to do or not to do something specified. Covenant, number two, is a conditional promise or promises made to man by God, or man made to God. Exchange of promises. Covenant is a formal agreement of legal validity. A formal agreement of legal validity, especially under seal. Covenant could be a pledge. Covenant could be a vow. When we do marriage vows, it is covenant we are entering into. When you stand before, a man stands before a woman, I'm going to love you till I die. The woman says, I'm going to be your wife and submit till I die. And to make it even stronger, there is a token, maybe a ring, and then that thing is spread over and then put in the person's finger. It's a covenant, very powerful covenant, which is sealed. If it were in the days of Abraham, for you to do a covenant with God, a sacrifice has to be carried out. And that's the kind of thing the devil is still doing today. Most times you enter into covenant, then the secret court or what, you have to seal it with blood. And in the time of Abraham, covenant, you have to bring a live something. That's what Abraham practicalized. That animal, divide it into two, and then you stand this side, God will stand the other side, and then you see the covenant. It is binding, and it is very dangerous if you fail. There are a few things in church that we do, but we do not understand that they are covenant. And I want to let us know that so that you begin to do things with understanding. Tithe is a covenant. First fruit is a covenant because this is an agreement between you and God. This is what God asks you to do, and it is required on your own side to be faithful, and then required on the side of God to be faithful in fulfilling his promises, following that vow. Covenant service. We have covenant service. As somebody saying, I'm going to serve God in the band, it's a covenant. I'm going to serve God in the choir, it's a covenant. I'm going to serve God in the Sunday school, it's a covenant. Or maybe in the security or ushering or any aspect where you say, God, this is a covenant between me and you. I'm not looking at man. I'm going to be faithful to you. I'm going to stand at my duty post at the appropriate time. I remember the Bible said Abraham stood where he met God. Abraham stood, and that was where God met him. He had to leave early in the morning to stand where he was supposed to meet with God, so as to keep a covenant. So vows could be covenant. Even evangelism, covenant evangelism, saying, look, I'm going to be going out to preach the gospel every Wednesday, is a covenant. Very many of us do not understand that some of the things we do for God are covenants. And that's why we handle them anyhow. Like I have always said, there is no unbeliever who has a dealing with the devil that can trifle with the devil. No, they will dare not. Because they know that the devil is a shrewd businessman. He does not joke. He takes no nonsense. When he says be there at 7 a.m. and you are not there at 7 a.m., your obituary is announced. That is the devil. As a matter of fact, before the time of grace, that was the behavior of God. Because whatever the devil does, most of them he picked from God. When God was the leader of man, when God was the king over man, when you do it wrongly, bam, on the spot, you get a punishment. Bam, on the spot, no warning, you are killed. What sin did Uzzah commit in trying to help the ark of the Lord from falling? It was a service he was trying to do. But God says, sorry, you have broken the rule. Bam! He fell and died. And the funny thing is that the ark that stumbled and wanted to fall, he wanted to help, and God killed him. That ark did not fall. It was sustained by God. Because God is self-sustaining. That is why even you, thinking you are helping God for what you are doing for God, any day you leave it, God will tell you, I am self-sustaining. You cannot help me. Whatever covenant I have entered into with you is for me to bless you, for me to help you, and not you helping me. Covenant. Covenant. Nothing cures confusion like clear understanding. Why many people trifle with some of these things is because they lack the understanding. Nothing fears faith and conviction like understanding. And that's what I'm trying to do today, to see how you can understand some of the services you do unto God as a covenant. And when you understand that is a covenant, this thing, I'm not doing it for anybody, I am doing it for God. This thing, I may have a cogent reason to abandon it, but if I abandon it, I have God to contend with, not man. There may be 1,000 reasons for that, but God is the one I entered into this covenant with, and so I am accountable to this God. Nothing energizes positive action like understanding. Many people struggle to do the right because they do not know the profit. They do not know the benefit. They do not know the blessings of doing the right thing. Where there is understanding, there is eagerness in doing things. And that's why I want to share with you today the benefits of covenant. I have 7 of them. I will share like 3 in this first service, and then the remaining I will share in the second service. Benefit number 1. When you operate in covenant, you will have existence in the realm of wealth and fortune. Wealth and fortune. Genesis chapter 12 verse 2 and Genesis 13 verse 2. I will make you what? Into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. It was a covenant God entered with Abraham. Look at Genesis chapter 13 verse 2. Abraham had become very in what? And in what? And in what? Promise made in chapter 12. Promise fulfilled very quickly in chapter 13. I want to prophesy to somebody here today. Whatever promise God has made in your life will no longer delay from now. The prophecy you receive is the prophecy that will work for you. The prophecy you believe is the prophecy that will work for you. Whatever promise the Lord has made unto you from today, everything that is delaying it is hereby set aside. It shall no longer delay from now. It shall no longer delay from now. Receive it in the name of Jesus. In Genesis chapter 24, 34 to 35, you see further fulfillment of that. Genesis 34, 24, verse 35, 34, and verse 35. And Genesis chapter 26, 12 to 14, you see that blessing not only in Abraham, but moving on to his sons. Now let me say that a covenant makes a person to escape poverty and scarcity. Somebody is escaping poverty and scarcity for life from today. There's a difference between fortune and prosperity or survival. There are three realms people operate in. One, you find poor people. Now these people never have enough. Number two, you have average people. These people have just enough, and that's where many of our people belong. Just enough. But you have number three, covenant people. Everybody say covenant people. These people have far above enough. 5% of what they have is more than enough for them. The other ones, they have a problem on what to do with it. Let me tell somebody, neighbor, God has not called you to suffer. If you do it well, please tell that person, you will not just be a family breadwinner. You will be a generational breadwinner. You will not say, I just got a breakthrough today, tomorrow the breakthrough is gone. You will not just have a breakthrough today and tomorrow you are looking for another breakthrough. A covenant person normally receives one breakthrough from God. One breakthrough. And when God gives you that one breakthrough, you are settled for life. It's not I got one today, I'm still struggling tomorrow. I'm afraid that one is finishing. Covenant makes you, before you recover from one, another has landed. And that's the description God gave in the Bible, that the reaper will overtake, the sower will overtake the reaper. That is to say, you planted something, before you finish reaping what you planted, they have already started sowing another one. So you haven't even finished the harvest. Another one is landing. You don't move from testimony to testimony or breakthrough to breakthrough. But you live inside testimony. You live inside breakthrough. They are covenant people. You can't be trusting God for 1 million. You will be looking for whom to give 1 million. They are covenant people. So covenant brings you into the realm of wealth and fortune. And that is the prayer I have for the members of this church. that God will make you a covenant child, and God will bring you into the realm of wealth and fortune. Anyone who truly received this prophecy, is a matter of time it will happen to you. And some of you who believe what I'm saying, it will happen in my presence before I leave here. That God will launch you into the realm of wealth and fortune in the name of Jesus Christ. Number 2, existence as an atmospheric changer. Genesis chapter 30 verse 27. Genesis 30:27. But Laban said to him, if I have found favor in your eyes, please stay. I have learned by divination that the Lord has blessed me because of you. Covenant people are climatic, or if you like, atmospheric changers. There is something in them that makes things to work wherever they find themselves. Jacob was in the house of Laban. Laban was not rich before Jacob came, but the arrival of Jacob made Laban to be very rich. When a covenant person enters a household, there is breakthrough in that household. When a covenant person enters a company, there is a breakthrough in that company. When a covenant person enters into any work, that work begins to prosper. Even if that work was retarding before, that work receives a speed, because they carry an aura that brings a breakthrough wherever they find themselves. It's a shame to some Christians that they entered, somebody employed you, that place was doing well, but when you entered, they crashed. It's an error. You, as a covenant child of God, if you are one, you are supposed to enter a place and things will begin to work, even if they were not working before you arrived. Genesis 30:29 to 30. Jacob said to him, you know how I have worked for you and how your livestock has fed under my care. The little you had, did you hear that? The little you had before my arrival, before I came, has increased greatly, and the Lord has blessed you wherever I have been. The Lord has blessed you what? Wherever. The blessing is contingent on my presence. Wherever I am, God brings blessings. But now, when may I do something for my own household? If you are here, you are a child of God, you should be a blessing wherever you enter. Anywhere you enter, things are supposed to work. I walked into a place sometime, I think it should be Garden Park or so. When I got there, everywhere was shut down. They said the network was not working fine, so they couldn't do the things they were doing. And I needed to do that thing so urgently. So they didn't know what to do. The lady there said, I have gone to put it off and put it on again, and when you do, it will work 2 minutes and we go off again. So I am tired, I don't know what else to do. I told her, I am here. Somebody say, I am here. I said, go put it off and on again. It will work as long as I am here, and I will do what I have come to do. She looked around. The other person said, hey, Reverend has said you better go and do it. The other person said, Reverend has said you better go and do it. I didn't even know that they know me. She went and put it off and put it on again. Bam! Network came everywhere, all over that garden park. It was on until I finished and left that place. Because you are an atmospheric changer. You carry something inside of you. You can't carry it and will not know that you carry it. That business is supposed to prosper because you are there. That work is supposed to prosper because you are there. In fact, you should not be in an examination hall. I cancel all that exam because give one rebel. You don't know what you carry. Lift up your hand and put it on your head and say, my Father, my Father. From today, I become an atmospheric changer. Wherever I enter, let this begin to work. Alabo shatalabaya. Ebubele. Namondo sikalabaya. One more. Maybe let me close with this. Access to divine audience and guidance. Access to divine audience and guidance. Psalm 21:5. This is prophetic, and I wish you are saying amen to that. Say, may the Lord answer you when you are in distress. May the name of the Lord of Jacob, God of Jacob, protect you. May he send you help from the sanctuary and grant you support from Zion. May he remember all your words, sacrifices, and accept your burnt offerings. Verse 4. May he give you the desire of your heart. Your is not convincing. May he give you the desires of your heart and make all your plans succeed. Make all your plans succeed. This week may all your plans succeed. This month of April may all your plans succeed. This year may all your plans succeed. That plan to marry will succeed. That plan to start a new business will succeed. That plan to expand your business will succeed. That plan to get a job will succeed. That plan to get admission will succeed. That plan to travel abroad will succeed. That plan to become something wonderful this year will succeed. Whatever good plan you have from the Lord, everything that is stopping it from being fulfilled, today I command it to be set aside. Set aside. Let that power of darkness be set aside. Let that diabolical power be set aside. Let that ignorance be set aside. Let that human obstacle be set aside. May God grace you today, empower you today to succeed in all your plans. If your amen is the loudest, in 24 hours you celebrate a miracle. Receive it. Receive it. Receive it. We will shout for joy when you are victorious, and we lift up our banners in the name of our God. May the Lord grant all your requests. Of course, this month is the month of busting into what? Into what? Songs, and then shouting for. Have you ever inconvenienced yourself? Just like he said, sacrifice unto God. Have you ever done that? Have you ever done a sacrifice that attracted remembrance from God? The centurion, God said, I have remembered his offerings, his sacrifices. There are categories of people that before they call God, God answers. There are people like that. When you're in trouble, God answers. Sometimes you don't even need to break your head. That's why he said, when you pray, may God answer you. In fact, before, as you are thinking it in your heart, may answer come to you. Whatever thing that is a need unto you, before you pray, the answer will land. 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 The answer will land.